on to watch.
Good evening, comrades. Welcome to another Sunday live stream. On my left eye, I'm your humble host Lefty. Hope you're well this eve. Yep, we are live. Idiosyncrasy first in the chat there. I'm celebrating 90 months of membership with a gifted membership. What a wonderful way to kick off the stream. Let's update the total immediately. 147 now. Thanks again, Idio. Can we big up Idiosyncrasy in the chat, please, everybody? Cats, hope you enjoy your perks. Good evening, Jacqueline. Nice to see you as well. Ashes and Watch also with us. I know we're still waiting for the vote in Clacton to see whether Count Binface will be victorious or not. We'll be coming on to that, I should say, later on in the stream with hot seats. Nice to see you. Do hit thumbs up as you join us, people. Quite the week, quite a lot of changes, of course. An outgoing Prime Minister and an incoming one tomorrow. We'll take a look forward to what to expect. We will in fact be taking the final and the penultimate trips to Keith's Fondue Lounge on this evening's stream as well. The time has come, as Keith goes, so does so many features with him. Don't worry, we're working on replacements, solutions, that kind of thing. I'd like to welcome Herbie Ranger and the Supersonics as well, the resident background Sunday jazz quartet, here with us in the studio every week. And we'll be getting into the lounge very shortly. First up though, bar that gifted membership, of course, this is the latest members list. Thank you very much everybody for all of your support, whichever direction it comes from, whether it's gifted memberships, super chat, super stickers, super thanks, or the buy me a coffee page. We do appreciate all of the support. Keep sharing on your social media, please people. Keep hyping the videos if you're watching on your mobile devices as well. Just smash the thumbs up, it'll prompt you to hype some points. It's all free. YouTube will kindly replenish your quota of hype points periodically, so do check out that pretty new feature. And a big week for us as well on the channel, getting over 6,000 subscribers. That's something we've been celebrating this week. Thanks again for all of your supporting, helping us achieve that target too. Okay, let's get into the Fondue Lounge without further ado. Well, don't get sentimental and teary-eyed, people. This is the penultimate visit to the Fondue Lounge. It's been quite a ride. From Keith and pals. Of course, this is where we usually go through what's coming up on the stream on Sundays. So it's pretty simple this week, to be honest. We're going to go through Phillips on Kussenberg. We've got hot seats coming up, Clacton and Manchester as well. Kind of a preemptive look at what to expect from Burnham throughout the stream. Of course, he'll enter number 10 tomorrow, and we're going to be focusing on one particular policy that he's expected to announce. That's right, people. If you weren't expecting more of the same before, then what we're expecting tomorrow, I think, will only bolster those reservations. Doesn't look good, but no spoilers. So it will seem strange to do Sundays without a Keith's Fondue Lounge, but that's what's happening from next week onward. And what a ride it's been. Okay, we'll catch up with Keith later. First up, we're going to dive straight into this Laura Kussenberg episode. Again, it's just one of the interviews. Kemi Badenoch also appeared this morning. If you'd like a wider analysis, I highly recommend No Justice and Kevin Logan as well, who do a further analysis of Laura Kussenberg. Did notice Jacob Rees-Mogg was on the panel of 3 as well. Again, for some reason, Kussenberg likes to just get other mainstream media characters on the panel. Kate Garraway, I think it was this time, from Sky. Yeah, we'll just be focusing on current deputy leader, although she never stands in for Keith, or never did. when he was absent, it was always David Lammy. Again, the Labour Party can't decide who the deputy is. So we're going to see what to expect as Burnham takes over tomorrow. Let's run the clip. There we go. Laura Kussenberg of Politics. Oh, by the way, yes, you'll see here, we're also going to play a bit of a mini game. We're sort of adjusting and testing out new games and mini games as we come into this air quotes new administration, as it were. So we'll be keeping count of change. But you know as well as I do, dear viewers, it's all the same. You'll hear that noise whenever change is mentioned. And of course, tomorrow, same begins now. Take it away, Laura. She does politics, you know.
Tomorrow, Andy Burnham will be whisked to Buckingham Palace for the official invitation from the King to form a government. He'll then be driven to Downing Street and he'll walk up that famous street, address the country from the lectern outside, and then walk through the shiny black door for the first time as Prime Minister.
It has to be Phillips that says change, by the way, not Kussenberg.
And only the 8th Labour politician to take on that job. What is he actually going to do? Well, once the cheering has stopped, we know that he will scrap the government's plans for digital ID cards. We know he wants to build lots more council houses. We know he wants to sort out social care for the elderly and vulnerable in England. And he's promising to give the public more control over utilities. They are big promises.
They are.
And this moment is going to be the biggest change moment in 40 years.
Well, I'm going to count Burnham saying it, I guess. Wasn't expecting this sort of cutaway clip, but I'll count any from Burnham as well as Phillips. So, kicking off the scoring even before the interview's begun. That's I don't think that's happened before, but we're going to count it nonetheless. One now.
Years of that trickle-down approach to running the economy, but
sorry, it is there. It's just it's all in white on a white background at the moment. I assure you, it says one.
It doesn't trickle down much at all, does it? It doesn't benefit ordinary people here. That's what I want to do.
Well, Lucy Powell.
That's what he wants to do. It's not. That's not. I'll tell you. I'll assure you. You know. I'll bet my life on it. I'm going to do that for you. That's what I want to do. I'm definitely not going to blame something getting in the way of it or whatever. Oh, look, there's a £22 billion black hole. Whatever. Well, I wanted to. I just couldn't. Just couldn't tax the rich.
Labour's deputy leader joins us from Manchester. Good morning to you, Lucy Powell. Andy Burnham's promising his premiership will be the biggest change in 40 years. Bigger than Brexit? Bigger than the financial crisis? Really?
Well, what he's saying is that the political and economic model that has governed this country for the last 40 years, an over-centralised political model, an economic model that's put private
neoliberal capitalism
interest ahead of everyday interest. He wants to radically rewrite that political and economic model, and that is a big ambition, that is a big bold agenda, and I think
you can't rewrite it because it is what it is. You're not going to move towards socialism, that's for sure.
You set out some of the key priorities that he sees he's going to deliver as part of that.
But it's confusing because he's also said he's going to broadly...
I'm not going to get the respite from deliver that I thought I was going to get, am I, people?
Stick to Labour's manifesto from just 2 years ago in 2024. He doesn't have a mandate of his own to make dramatic changes to the country, does he?
Oh, Kussenberg actually doing her job quite early on. You know, she's one of the highest paid at the BBC, by the way. Interesting freeze frame as well. But that's a good point. You can't stick with the manifesto and stick with the fiscal rules, as he said that he's going to do as well, and have this revolutionary change. It's just impossible, and especially with the people who are supposed to implement this so-called change, this revolution of the system that's just vague terms at the moment. He's made the 5 sort of points that were very vacuous and hollow. We're sort of in the middle of making a video about what to expect from Burnham, featuring these 5. I'm not going to go through them at the moment. It's not even worth it because they are just sort of phrases like build better politics. And they're so unmemorable that even though we have been working on a video, I can't reel them off the top of my head. But yeah, building a better politics, make politics work for you, this kind of just hollow crap that lacks any substance whatsoever.
Well, our manifesto, he is going to stick to our manifesto. He's been really clear about that. And our manifesto did talk about a redistribution of power. It did talk about rewiring the country, and it did talk about taking on some of those vested interests. But I think
it hasn't done that at all, has it?
Experience that he has had over the last 10 years actually governing outside of Whitehall and the central government, he really understands the bigger, bolder measures that are needed to actually live up to that manifesto problem. Measures?
Can I allow measures as a variation? No, it's got to be sort of pretty change or changing in this. Appears to have frozen it exactly as they're about to cut away to another shot. You can see a sort of split-second fade that they have in effect. Pretty good timing there, if I do say so myself.
And that's incredible. What he's about delivering, and I think this is an exciting agenda we can all get behind.
Oh yes, I'd been springing out of bed, waiting for this to come along.
That message to the public, and we're seeing pictures of you smiling away with all of those MPs greeting Andy Burnham, and you introduced him to the stage.
Yeah, I don't know if, the fact that he was introduced by Shabana Mahmood during that speech as well says a lot. I don't know who's got the most disingenuous smile at the moment, whether it is Phillips or Kate Middleton.
On Friday at the leadership event, it is though confusing to the public, is it not? Because you're saying, yes, we'll stick to the manifesto, but also he's standing up saying 4 decades of this country has been in the wrong direction, including the time of Tony Blair and Gordon Brown in office, when he was in government.
Well, there were different challenges at that time for the Labour government. We had public services on their knees. We had a different economic time where there was kind of lots of growth in the economy as well. I think what Andy's talking about is an economy that has not worked for ordinary people. We have seen stagnant or falling living standards now for many, many years. People don't feel they have agency over their everyday lives, over their communities, their high streets that are increasingly in decline. People don't have agency over the bills they have to pay that keep going up and up because they're run in the interests of private interests, not for consumers or for taxpayers.
But that's why he says public control and not public ownership, because he's not going to nationalise them. Do you think we're stupid enough not to notice that?
And these are things that and a big council house building programme, as you say, and tackling some of those big questions that politics has failed to answer in recent years. All of these things actually are mentioned, are discussed in our manifesto, but I think Andy's being clear about his vision that is a bolder, more ambitious vision for how we'll go about addressing those challenges and what that actually means. So I think it's consistent with the manifesto, but yes, it is bolder, it is more ambitious, and it is clearer, because I think what people have really said to me and to all of us over the last 2 years is they don't really know what Labour stands for and what our purpose is and whose side we are on. And I think...
Well, I do. And you're not on our side, that's for sure.
coming out with that clearer vision, a bolder vision, being clear that we are on the side of ordinary working people, taking on the vested and private interests where we need to do so, and redistributing power into every community. That is a vision I think people will really get behind.
And one of the other words that he used was that a promise to become authentically Labour. What is authentic
Yeah,
Labour?
exactly. What does that mean? It just doesn't mean anything, does it? Which era are you talking about? Are you talking about what, from 2015 to 2019? I certainly doubt that. It's a very broad sweeping statement without any clear definition whatsoever.
Authentic Labour is Labour. It's not trying to out-reform...
What? Brexit means Brexit, does it? Labour means Labour. Come on, Powell, give it a fucking rest.
It's not trying to out-green the Greens. It's about being clear what Labour stands for, what our values are, whose side we are on, and that we were kind of invented.
Well, what? That means you're going to be democratic socialist again. You're going to bring back Clause 4, make it a democratic socialist party. Really, who do they think that they're going to reel in with this?
To represent the interests of working people and be on the side of ordinary communities right around the country, and to rebalance the way the country is run. And that is what Labour is about. That we're for opportunity, we're for justice, and it's being really clear about those things.
Doesn't that just sound like everything?
Been as clear as mud about it. Come on, Lucy, this is awful. This is terrible.
Sorry, could you just say that again?
Doesn't that just sound like everything? You say it's justice, opportunity, Labour is Labour. I'm just asking what that means in concrete terms, because Andy Burnham set that out as a promise of something different. He said, I will change direction and we will be authentically Labour. So in brass tacks, can you tell our viewers what that means?
No, she can't.
Well, brass tacks, it's tackling issues like the cost of living so that ordinary people can have a bit of breathing space. It's about giving...
How? Give us some policies. Give us something substantial to go at, Lucy. It's awful.
People, ordinary people, security in work, security in their home.
Sorry, I think I said Phillips earlier, not Powell as well. Of course.
A home they can afford, and live in a community that they can feel proud of, and knowing that their children are going to have opportunity for the future. These are the sort of basic essentials that ordinary people aspire.
So how do you intend to facilitate that? Yes, these are the things that the country needs. It's a no-brainer to sit there and go through a list of the things that are wrong with the country at the moment. Deputy Prime Minister, well, unless it's Deputy PMQs, and then you're not, then it's David Lammy, whatever. But there's no routes. You're not telling us the pathway. You're not describing the policies that are going to help you achieve the solutions to all of these problems. And it's not even day one. And I'm already getting particularly frustrated about the lack of detail.
To want to have, and they want to know they've got a government on their side, and it does mean taking on some of the vested and private interests that have for too long governed this country.
So we're going to tax the super rich permanently, is that what you then say it?
Which has meant that too many communities have been
maybe that's not what you're going to do.
And we have seen an economy that's been overly privatised, and that the utilities and the essentials of life don't work.
Then why were the three people that Andy Burnham thanked in his opening speech, fucking Margaret Beckett, David Blunkett, and Neil Kinnock, all of them currently sitting in the House of Lords? Very establishment, and this is who you're taking on, is it? They're the people that helped to build this system that you're now criticising, and you can't have it both ways. You can't have inspiration from Blunkett, Beckett and Kinnock and want to stop privatisation and all of the problems that come with it. because that's an oxymoron. It's a contradiction. It's a load of bollocks.
In the interests of ordinary people, so giving people that agency as well. So that's how you then make the choices that you need to make in government, and you set out a clear direction to do that. So, you know, tackling affordability and the cost of living so that people's everyday lives get that bit better will be absolutely a key priority.
And that is exactly the same kind of thing that Keir Starmer and his ministers have been saying for 2 years. And I think people might wonder why that's actually going to be different. We know one thing that will be different because...
Well, they have, yeah. And for the last 2 years, you've been failing to challenge them properly and directly. The only sort of critique that's come from Kussenberg has been because she's a hardened Tory, of course, despises socialism or the concept of it. She's on over £300,000 a year, this lady, to produce this. And you certainly get better quality for a lower price here on my left eye, that's for sure, with memberships from just 99p. That's a fraction of the price of a tasty hot beverage, people, for all of this quality. And where was I? Yeah, during those 2 years, she gave them a pretty easy ride. But now she appears to have remembered how to do a job properly because it's Burnham, because it's Labour. I think somewhere in her subconscious she still believes in a great Tory revival. But maybe she's just as deluded as Lucy Powell.
The team have briefed journalists, including here at the BBC, that Andy Burnham will drop the government's ambitions for national digital ID cards in order to reprioritise and use resources in a different way. So how much money is that going to save that will then find its way into people's pockets to help with the cost of living?
Yeah, because trying to claim something that was never going to fly anyway, I don't think that they would have got, you know, ID cards to really get off the ground. Saying that that's a saving when you haven't really spent the money on it yet, I think, excuse me, is dodgy accounting by any standards. It's like saying, I planned to go out and buy a speedboat, but no, I'm not going to do that, so I've saved myself the price of a speedboat, pretty much, just in political terms. So, yeah, ID cards was never going to get, so they're not going to make that much of a saving, and it's just, again, generally said, going towards the cost of living crisis, which is Tory syntax again. Of course, it's poverty. They dodge the P word, they fear the P word, because it's more accurate and displays more accurate imagery when you say it. But cost of living crisis makes it seem as though it's some sort of strange numerical, mathematical thing within the markets or whatever it might be. That's not just a simple political choice. So yeah, no clear detail or definition of how much money or where it's going to specifically go.
Well, it is an example. It's one small example of reprioritising. This is an opportunity to reset, to refresh, to look at those things that perhaps are not just taking resource.
Don't say restore, don't say reform. Whatever you do, those words have been appropriated now. You can't say restore or reform.
But are taking attention away for government and priorities. And I think the digital ID scheme is one such example. Something that, yeah, might not have cost a huge amount of money, but will have cost some money over time. Certainly to build it, to develop it, to make it happen, to maintain it, and all of that, those kind of things.
So how much money are you going to save, and what are you going to do with it?
It takes attention. It takes attention away as well. So it's about being laser focused on the cost of living, laser focused on rewiring the economy, rewiring the political system in this country, and clearing the decks, if you like.
Oh, Andy Burnham mentioned a circuit breaker, didn't he, in his Manchester speech here? That was a couple of weeks ago. Do you remember that one? It came from the People's History Museum. Around Marx's old stomping ground, somewhere I've been quite a few times myself, personally. Anyway, these electronic syntax coming, circuit breaker, rewiring, we're going to reconnect the nodes. what's going to be next.
Of all of the other things that might distract and take away from that in terms of the focus of the government. And I think that's absolutely right. This is a moment to have a reset, have a refresh, look at those things.
How many resets did Starmer have? I've lost count, and I'm not just asking that question comedically, pretending not to know, playing dumb. I literally can't remember how many there were. Because we had pledges, there's 6 or whatever it was, 5 steps, 1, pledges, yada, yada, yada. This is including when he was in opposition as well, not just over the last 2 years. They were coming in at one point, sort of every 2 months. It was getting that bad. Huge. You know, it's all different. And so they're going to try that again. It's another reset. Again, there's nothing to reset. You can reset it as much as you like, but you're still going to be presented with the same MPs. You can't reset your PC or your laptop and expect it to boot up with a completely different operating system and software. If you'll allow me to make a tech comparison of my own, you know, you're still left with the ingredients that you have. You've still just got Ed Miliband. People are still umming and ahhing about what sort of position he'll have. Wes Streeting, David Lammy, Angela Rayner. What is she going to be, the second best that Labour can produce? Where's the quality? There's no quality. And then it's just, after the cabinet, a series of increasingly bland faces nodding along, who are never going to get behind any kind of progressive government whatsoever. And might I remind you yet again, people, don't forget this as we go through Burnham's premiership, how it all started. It started with Josh Simons. And the more you look at Josh Simons, the more you realise that there's absolutely no way, not in a month of Sundays, not in an epoch, that he would say, oh, there's a socialist out there who wants to become leader of the Labour Party, and we're going to do a big reset and it's all going to change. And more representative this and... No. I'm not certain what sort of deals went on behind closed doors, what Josh Simons' end of the deal would be. But it certainly wouldn't be the case that he's stepped down as quickly as he did, unless it's just going to be more of the same. Because all they're worried about is the end of the establishment parties. And you can include the Tories with that, and this is their last throw of the dice, and they thought they weren't even going to get a throw at all. They knew that they had to get rid of Starmer, and in a rush, panicked, and the best that they can produce now is Andy Burnham. Thank you very much, Josh Simons, you absolute arsehole.
We'll see more of that in the coming days and weeks as well.
But can you tell us how much money that is actually going to give you to spend on other things and help people with the cost of living? So it's the first policy that's been sort of briefed out by his team. Can you, as the deputy leader of the party and a close ally of his, give us the facts about how much you think you'll save by doing that and what you will do with the money instead?
I can only assume that's Rees-Mogg with the intermittent coughing, if you're wondering who that is.
There are various information out there, isn't it? The OBR said it would cost, I think, £1.8 billion for the coming years. That's not an insignificant amount of money. That will obviously be reprioritised and...
It's about half a thousand, excuse me, it's about half a thousandth of the gross domestic product of the UK then, over many years as well. Jesus.
Redistributed in different ways, but as I say, it's not just about the money, it's actually about the attention and the focus, so that the whole of government machinery can work in service of the agenda and the vision that the Labour government is setting out under Andy Burnham.
I can't see it. Will you set it out clearer? Because I sure as shit can't see it, and I you know, I'll let you in on a bit of a secret here, Powell. I'm kind of into politics a bit. And even I am not getting any clear sense, which only tells me that we're heading in the same direction that we have been under Keir Starmer. If I can't see where the different path leads, the only conclusion I can come to is that you're trying to cloud our vision whilst you lead us the same way we've been going for so long and with such dire consequences. Doc's in the house. Nice to see you this evening. Doc, Ogham the Bold also joining us. OBR Office of Burnham's ruin. Yes. And he will be responsible.
And I think that is important. We see...
I'm sure. I can't believe there's only been one change so far. Have I missed any? I may have missed any.
You know, these initiatives come along, and it was only a year or so ago that it was announced we would do an ID card, which, by the way, wasn't actually in our manifesto either. It was very controversial. There was a lot of opposition to it.
I'm not sure that you'd have got as many votes as you did if it was either.
But it does take attention away, and this is now a moment to look at that again and look at these issues right across government. What do we need to focus on? What do we need to be delivering so that people can actually see what we're doing? It's up in lights. They understand why we're doing what we're doing.
It's not up in lights. It's as clear as mud. Up in lights. Is it just me, people? Let me know in the chat if I've overlooked some of the details, some of the substance in what she's been saying. But, you know, where are these lights of which you speak, Lucy?
Start to feel the benefits of that, and having real priorities and real focus on that, I think, is important. And if digital ID cards is a distraction from that, then let's say now we're not going to do it. I welcome that. Also, what's been reported by us here at the BBC and elsewhere is that Andy Burnham is going to have a more permissive attitude and allow more exploration of oil and gas in the North Sea.
Ah, here we go. Yes, this is the policy that we're expected to receive and expected to be announced tomorrow. Obviously, I'm dead against it. The approval and expansion of Rosebank oil and gas field in the North Sea. So what, 9 o'clock on day one, he's going to bow to the fossil fuel lobbies. This certainly reeks of change, doesn't it, people? This is disastrous. This is terrible. And I do again suspect that we're going to hear the same old about energy crisis, so on and so forth. He might even go so far as to try and blame the 4% loss of natural gas that started with the Ukraine-Russia war as well. But it's no clear solution, obviously. We know that renewables is the way to go, 5 to 7 times cheaper. This will only further what we already have. The fact that he's doing this, again, first thing, day one, is quite foreboding where anybody who's concerned about the climate crisis is concerned. You can count me in that.
Is that going to happen? Will he allow more drilling to take place?
Well, I think some of those reports were actually speculation. They weren't official briefings at all. But Andy's been clear that he stands by, you know, the policies in our manifesto.
You're going to do it, aren't you?
To that, we are really
You're going to do it.
We've been really clear that the
been really clear. She dodged the question again and again and again.
What the fuck is going on up there?
Way to achieve in the long term energy security and lower bills is by ensuring that we do have our own homegrown, clean, much cheaper energy. But we've been
clean, like renewable, say renewables.
Absolutely clear that North Sea gas and oil is an important part of that transition.
Oh no, okay. That doesn't make logistical or mathematical sense, Lucy, because the transition is away from fossil fuels. So they can't be part of the transition. The transition is towards renewables, otherwise you're just left with more of the same, and it's no transition whatsoever. As I've said time and time again, yes, we will still need a small amount of fossil fuels for certain things. Yeah, that's known as CDR. That's a sort of residual use that is sort of baked in, if you like. It's also baked into the CO2 levels that the country produces. But she's clearly dodging the issue. She's clearly dodging the question. This time tomorrow we'll know that what she's saying here is a lot of crap.
It's an important part of the mix, and I think what Andy's talking about is taking a more pragmatic approach and working with the industry to make sure that it can contribute to that transition and to the...
We don't want them to contribute whatsoever. They've had the time, they've destroyed the planet, they've taken a shitload of money, and sorry, but the gravy train's got to stop. The game's got to be up. You have to turn around to these people and say that sort of thing. Because, oh well, how do you think that they're going to help you? What, you think that they're going to come out and say, yeah, please lower our profits. Our shareholders would love that. We'll get our top teams right on it straight away. Or do you think that they're going to do what they've been doing for decades, which is delaying the transition to renewables? We're talking about companies who buy up patents on clean energy so that they can sit on shelves and gather dust and not get used. We're talking about companies who try to disprove the fact that climate change is human caused and human accelerated in the 1970s, and they tried to bury all of that information as well. They're not going to be falling over themselves to help us get onto wind and solar and tidal, are they? Think about it. Or did you come down with the last drop of rain, Deputy Prime Minister? You frickin' moron.
The mix that is needed over the long term. So let's see what he's got to say about that. But I don't think it's a change of policy, it's more a change of emphasis.
But there is, though, a very important decision to be taken about whether or not two existing oil and gas fields at Rosebank and Jackdaw in the North Sea, whether they are allowed to go ahead. Would you like to see them go ahead?
The question.
To be pragmatic, to use your...
Yeah, because there's Jackdaw as well as Rosebank. Jackdaw doesn't produce both. I think Jackdaw is just oil. And Rosebank is oil and gas.
Word.
Well, as you know, Laura, they are subject to very legal planning process at the moment. And the reason that they weren't able to go ahead under the previous government is because they were legally challenged.
It was, yeah. You're welcome, because that's something that I personally protested against myself.
And therefore...
And the deal was no new licences. That was just Opoil's primary demand. That was met by the incoming Labour government. And you've just said yourself many times, Lucy Powell, that you intend to stick to the Labour manifesto, which includes no new oil, coal and gas licences. So you can immediately throw that promise in the trash, I guess. And I've said this before as well, if these do go ahead, don't think it will go unnoticed by organisations that protest against them. It certainly won't.
We're now having to go through this new process, so it's absolutely important that that legal process takes place. That's a sort of quasi-legal decision that gets taken then by the Secretary. Quasi. Of State for energy. But as I say, you know,
Well, how do you say it? Is it a tomato? kind of thing, but this is from the northeast, not the northwest. Lucy Powell, I'm the Deputy Prime Minister.
We've been clear with tiebacks, with other measures, that we want to see North Sea gas and oil.
Have I missed 2 changes? Thanks for that, Guitar Guy. Nice to see you in chat as well. Yeah, it doesn't sort of stand out as much as Deliver. I don't quite have the Pavlovian response complex where that one's concerned that triggers me. So I thank you again for noticing. Sorry about that. Let's just change the total now to 3. I knew there had to have been more. Yeah, sorry, it's difficult to kind of weigh up how I'm responding to what she's saying in real time as well. Sometimes. Such is my disdain.
Continue to thrive, continue to contribute to that energy mix.
And Aaron's with us as well. Good evening, Aaron.
But resolute in our mission that energy security and lower bills will only come by us not
by renewables.
Continuing to rely on fossil fuels, but building...
Then do it.
...cheaper, renewable energy of the future as well. So the two go hand in hand, and they're not an either or.
One of the people who...
No, you get rid of one. Well, not in total. You very drastically reduce the use of one and significantly increase the usage of the other.
Will be very eager to hear what Andy Burnham has to say about those decisions. Will be Ed Miliband, another close ally of yours, who's been the Energy Secretary for the last couple of years. Andy Burnham's promised to end factionalism in the Labour Party.
There are no factions left, Laura. They're just all neoliberals. A lot of them parachuted in. Yeah, come on, who's genuinely the most left-wing person remaining in Labour? It's certainly no one who is on the left.
But there has...
It's not, what factions? What, the Socialist Campaign Group? What have they got left? I think the biggest hitters they had, obviously Corbyn and Sultana, have now exited. It's more or less generally Abbott, Richard Bergen, John McDonnell. That's pretty much it, but it's certainly got no weight or efficacy within Labour. Which factions do you speak? I don't think there's any factionalism where the issue of returning to the European Union is concerned, for example. That seems to be a pretty big sort of divisive issue within some other parties, but certainly not Labour. Which factions? Because you'll have to name at least 2, but I can't even think of 2, to be honest.
Been a lot.
The fact that not a single person stood against Andy Burnham in the Labour leadership race, air quotes race, only amplifies that fact.
A lot of briefing already, quite a lot of briefing against Ed Miliband. It doesn't bode very well, does it, for Andy Burnham's big promise of ending all that kind of unhappiness and infighting in the party?
Look, there's been a lot of speculation in the media about various individuals, which has been really quite horrible, to be honest, and unedifying. I mean, I know that as political journalists, maybe you've not had the story of the Labour leadership crisis to write about for the last few weeks, because actually I'm really proud of the way in which the Labour Party has handled this transition and come together in a consensus around Andy Burnham being the next leader. And I think we've given a really good account of ourselves over these last few weeks. And maybe because political journalists haven't had all that to write about, they're looking for other personalities and other disagreements to write about.
Well, journalists write about things that they are told.
A different culture.
But Lucy Powell, we're talking to you from Manchester, and Manchester is a big part of Andy Burnham's thinking. It's also maybe going to be a very big part of his team. You're likely to get a big job. Jonathan Reynolds, also another North West MP. Angela Rayner, another North West.
But they're all dickheads. You could take it from this Northwesterner, Laura. Bunch of twats. The fucking, like Lindsay Hoyle's from the Northwest. So fucking what?
MP.
If you want to talk about one of ours, you know, you're talking the likes of Hannah Spencer. It's more the type of quality that we're looking for.
You were sacked by Keir Starmer back in September, so you must be feeling pretty chuffed this weekend about a Northern reverse takeover.
Well, she was up all night writing that one. She looks pretty pleased with herself.
Well, there's actually always been quite a strong representation of Greater Manchester at the top of the Labour Party, but I've always been clear since I got elected last October. I'm the deputy leader of the whole Labour Party. I've spent my last 10 months going all around the country, Scotland, Wales, London, and elsewhere. You know, I represent all.
Oh, it's just Scotland, Wales, London. Well, you've done it all, yeah. You've been everywhere. Like you just went over the border. It's like you just went over the border of... Well, you stopped at a service station in Wrexham or something.
All factions, all members, all interests in the Labour Party, and I will continue to do that in the coming weeks and months as the directly elected Deputy Leader of the Labour Party.
Lucy Powell, thank you very much indeed for joining us on a huge weekend ahead of a huge moment tomorrow. Thank you very much indeed for your time. Well,
thank you.
There you go. Oh, God, very poor indeed. That's awful.
Very poor indeed.
Lucy Powell there, apparently deputy leader of the Labour Party sometimes. At least 3 mentions of change. I might have missed a few. We're just toying around with games and stuff, don't worry. There's not a league or anything underway. We're working on replacements and solutions. So that was 3 from change or same begins now. And if you didn't think it has, I think what Powell had to say would only bolster that sentiment, as I said. God. Pretty foreboding. Doesn't look good at all, does it? So the socialist revolution will come from elsewhere, so it seems.
Socialists. Oh my God.
It looks at one point as though she might start to press as well, but just what we come to expect from Laura Kussenberg again. About somewhere around the £330,000 a year mark. Kussenberg's salary. Yeah, thanks. We'll move swiftly on into hot seats now. Do hit thumbs up if you recently joined us on stream. That would be fantastic. Oh, a reminder as well, just in case we don't raid into either No Justice or Kevin Logan later, if you want an extended analysis of the Laura Kussenberg Sunday show, then do check out those channels. I skipped over the panel response, and I think Kemi Badenoch was the other interviewee as well. Andy Carter in the chat. You've heard that Andy Burnham's going to nationalise your arse. Really? I'm not sure if that goes against the Geneva Convention, to be honest, but that's a pretty sensational update if it's true. Nice to see, Andy. So yeah, we better get into things. Yeah, just in case we go past 8 o'clock whilst I'm going through these clips and whatnot. A polite reminder of no live football scores in the chat, please, people. Feel free to say who you prefer to win. Of course, we're right behind the Spanish for multiple reasons here at My Left Eye, but no live football scores in the chat, please. Yes, I want this to be not just a spoiler-free space, but also a space where, you know, it basically gets rammed down your throat enough, and yeah, some people don't like that. So, right. Jacqueline's rooting for Spain as well. I think the whole world is, pretty much. So, hot seats. Let's see what's happening. A couple of updates for Clacton and Manchester.
Today I will resign as a Member of Parliament for Clacton-on-Sea, thereby forcing a by-election.
We got one!
Yes, it's perhaps the most sensational contest that's ever taken place in British politics, people. What a time to be alive. Can the Binner be a winner? Let's take a look at a couple of updates. No solid polls, but got a new promotional piece from Count Binface to check out first. And then we're going to take a look at his recent appearance on Newsnight. That's something that we haven't gone into on the channel yet. I know a few of you might have seen the full thing already, but I haven't actually, so if this time, watch for me. It goes without saying, of course, we're right behind Count Binface. A few other people have thrown their hat into the ring recently, of course, Monster Raving, Looney Party, Lawrence Fox. There's definitely at least one Fox, Lawrence Dickhead Fox, of course, from, well, he got sacked, didn't he, from the, was it from GBB's? Complete dickhead nonetheless. Not certain if the other Fox is standing, that is the Novelty Fox. Protest candidate against fox hunting. Remains to be seen. But Binface has put out this small promotional video. He is ready and raring to go.
Hi, Count Binface here, and I'm raring to go for the Clacton by-election. And my goodness me, there's no less than 34 candidates for this electoral feast.
34?
In fact, it's going to be like Comic-Con up on that stage, but...
I didn't know there were 34.
Then I didn't let the genie out of the bottle.
Comic-Con.
I haven't called this election. Somebody else has. Now here's a little factoid for you. This is my 8th election on planet Earth. And I understand there's a tradition for Clacton candidates, 8th time lucky. So how about it? Here's to a positive campaign showing the very best of democracy. May the best life form win and make your votes count.
Yes, do it. Please do it, people of Clacton. Any Clactonians watching, we'd love you to get in touch, especially if you intend to vote for Binface. 34 candidates. Come on. There's going to be quite a few deposits lost. That's for sure. Hoping Lawrence Fox obviously doesn't get his back. Homophobe, transphobe, blah blah blah. The type of arsehole who throws around the terms woke mind virus and things like that. Jacqueline, you think Count Binface sounds like Zippy's evil twin? And Zippy was, well, is that Zippy from the old Rainbow thing back in the 70s? We brought that up on the channel a couple of times before, I think. Zippy. Yeah, of course, I've seen clips of Zippy. Are we coming to Clacton-on-Sea, Jeffrey? I don't know, maybe it's he uses the voice, maybe it sounds more comedic from inside an actual metal bin. Good observational skills there, Jacqueline. Andy Carter, good prediction. Yes, I'd hope that Lawrence Fox gets fewer than 10 votes as well. So we will go through this clip on Newsnight. Like I said, I've not seen it before. I've seen a couple of you in chat on recent streams pointing out how much you enjoyed it, so let's enjoy it together, for me at least, for the first time.
Well, the Chancellor, Rachel Reeves, today cleared the way for the Clacton by-election by accepting Mr Farage's resignation as an MP.
It's a few days ago, I think.
Responsibility which falls to her due to parliamentary rules. She wrote online, "It is a farce and a desperate distraction, and the people of Clacton deserve better," adding, "He was clear to spend his summer arguing with a bin." Well, let's turn to the bin himself, Count Binface. John.
Have we got another one who just really takes it very seriously?
In the studio. Hello,
Have a soul, man.
Oh, it's
Come
Count,
on.
actually,
Oh,
but
Count.
it's lovely
Count.
to meet you, Paddy, the wonderful panel.
Very rude.
Newsnight listeners. I've come down to Earth specially to be on Newsnight, and because there are no World Cup games on, so I was at a loose end.
Well, now look, here's the thing. We know that the Monster Raving Loony Party are running as well. So do you think it's time for a loony bin pact?
Well, look, the fact is, if the Loonies and Farage want to fight amongst...
This man is a serious professional political journalist, and that is the very first question that he... Admittedly, it's a novelty candidate, but why don't you just all team together? No, it's Count Binface. He's a one-man show. He's a one-man political revolution. He's the leader of the Recyclons. Don't see any other leaders of the Recyclons out there, do I? Who is this? Sorry, I've forgotten the name of this host. It's not your usual cast. Bit of a stupid proposition.
themselves.
Especially to start off with.
For the
no, I'm talking about you and the Monster Raving.
I know you are. I'm making a separate point.
Well, why don't you do a pact?
No, I don't need a
What's
pact
the point?
with anybody. I'm quite happy, thank you.
No one votes for the Monster Raving. That's the fucking point. Nobody votes for them. That's the irony of it.
Here. Well, hang on a minute, because why don't we...
And indeed the SNP. I mean, it's very kind of you.
I mean, these are serious times.
Quite right.
Why don't you bin off the bin on Newsnight now? We know that your name is John, and we know really a lot
sod
about
off
you.
with all
Isn't
this.
Time for serious...
Oh, what? Oh, we didn't realise it's a man in a fucking costume. You know, do you go around telling kids that the Tooth Fairy's not fucking real as well, or whatever? Bloody hell. I'm pretty sure your adult audience on Newsnight can work out that it is actually, yes, it's a real person. His name is Jonathan, or John for short. And yeah, he's been a writer for the BBC before, with Armando Iannucci, and with Have I Got News For You, for example. But you don't hear me harping on about that all the time. Just take the fucking concept, like, as seriously as you can, even though it's a comedy candidate. But, like, he's kind of doing what, was it Andrew Marr did? Where he's like, well, you're not going to be able to wear that bin if you're in the House of Commons, according to Rule, 37/B, subsection whatever of the I'm a boring pencil neck dickhead.
Times to bin off the bin.
Oh, here we go. I mean, has anyone
Here we
seen
go.
Return of the Jedi? Nobody wants to know what's underneath a recyclone. It's disgusting. It's absolutely putrefying. No, if you want to be serious with me, I'll tell you, you want to talk to Count Binface, and then you get me on Newsnight, and you start trying to deconstruct a character. I would say, what are we doing here? On a programme which used to construct proper investigative journalism, and now is a souped-up podcast, Paddy.
Well, I mean, a souped-up podcast
I have seen a clip of that
where
part.
people want to know about transparency.
Podcast.
And this is the point. You're not transparent, and that's the criticism being made of Nigel Farage. What do you think about this yourself, to be A, on a sofa with Bin, and B...
No, he's doubling down on the seriousness. What do you think it's... And he just keeps calling him Bin. It's Count. He has a title, which is Count. How do you feel? Don't know what this guy's on per year. But again, I think it just might be a 0 or 2 too many.
To be seeing this as the Clacton campaign unfolding.
Well, it's a bit
I mean, it's an absolute bloody disgrace, isn't it? It's an absolute farce.
Relief. I think it's a masterstroke in some ways, because Nigel Farage is...
The farce is that there's a by-election in the first place. That is the real farce. That is why Count Binface is emphasising that to try and dodge questions about £5 million donations from cryptocurrency billionaires, Nigel Farage steps down, calls a by-election that he'll stand in, as though the result of the by-election in any way affects his previous corrupt actions. That's what this is all about. So maybe the Newsnight host might want to get onto that issue. Maybe some of these other pencil necks on the sofa there might bring it up. Let's see.
Performative and populist and attention grabbing, and it is where he is because he likes to make people laugh a lot. He's met probably his best rival possible, someone else who's even more populist, even more performative, and actually probably much funnier in the pub as well.
And there is already a debate taking place in Parliament right now with potential representation.
She seems to approve.
The Speaker, because were Count Binface to be elected as Count Binface,
yes,
your mandate is as Count Binface.
Right.
Now, under current parliamentary rules, you wouldn't be allowed to appear in the chamber like this.
Oh, he's doing
and
it
there
again.
are MPs right now thinking of writing to the Speaker saying,
we don't
were you
care.
to be elected, that your mandate would have to be respected and you'd have to appear in the common chamber just like this.
And let's not beat about the bush. He actually said that.
Oh, so he's actually backing him up for being able to go in as that, because that's the personification that people have voted for. Is that the technicality?
It's politics in 2026, and I think your viewers are going to be thinking, my goodness me, did we all just stay up too late watching England-Mexico? We all haven't had enough sleep and it's just one giant fever dream. Maybe this is just a group hallucination. Maybe we're all in one of Christopher Nolan's Inceptions and it's a giant publicity stunt for the Odyssey.
Yeah, what kind of tea am I drinking here, Binface?
Who knows?
But the thing is, I'm just looking at the bookies because they're meant to know. William Hill are offering 4-to-1 odds. Ladbrokes are offering 7-to-1. Could you win?
Never
4-to-1. 4-to-1 now.
Do you?
Yeah. Well, the last time we took a serious look at the odds, they were going from 11-2 to 5-1, shortening by half a point, and now a full point. Even further, 4-1. That's better than Russian roulette odds. Far, far stranger things have happened, not just in politics, but in life in general. 4-1. Those are excellent odds. You can take those. We'll keep our eye on it. There's still a couple of weeks or so to go until the election itself. I can only see it going one way. The only reason I can think that we're not seeing too much solid polling is perhaps certain establishment pollsters are trying to avoid what's happening. I'll optimistically hope it's for that reason. They just don't want to admit defeat to the bin, the counts. It's Independence time, people. Let's do this.
think that it's a chance in this, through the looking glass world we live in, Therese, that there could be a contest that's serious between, in terms of
Therese
result
Coffey.
and outcome?
As if we want Therese Coffey's 2 cents on anything. This is someone who blamed flooding in Yorkshire on the rain coming in from the wrong direction. She was the health minister, and I don't like to judge people on how they look, but would you really trust this person to be able to look after your health? As Tory as it gets.
Between these candidates in Clacton?
Well, I think the other parties have taken the right decision to not contest this by-election. It is a joke. I mean, literally the Circus Fantasia is going to Clacton next week, and they've already recruited their clown. He's called Nigel Farage. I mean, this is a real joke on the people of a town that is very proud, that Frinton, and actually has the poorest part of the UK in Jaywick. So I have to say this stunt, led by Nigel Farage, deserves, frankly, to not get that much contest at all. And I hope that Camp Binface won't be upset if people instead tune into other matters over the summer.
I should just say that I did say to Nigel Farage yesterday, this is...
Get a life. So boring. Come on. And to analyse this, we've chosen, you know, mostly boring Tories.
A stunt, isn't it? And he said, no, it's a gamble. And he feels very, very strongly that there are allegations about him, about receiving this money. He believes under the rules he didn't need to declare it, and he believes he's being unfairly maligned, and he wants to take control of the narrative and face his voters. That's what Nigel Farage would say.
But that's exactly like
the investigation continues.
Exactly like Marine Le Pen in France. I mean, it's a similar pattern of populists who are trying to present themselves as being up against the establishment because they've fallen afoul of the rules.
OK, and Count Binface, are you going to Clacton? It might be a good place to start.
It might be. That's a little bit of patronising, but I'll take it in the spirit it's intended. Yeah, I might go, but, you know, apparently the current incumbent seems to spend more time in Washington, D.C., so maybe I should go there first. We'll see.
Will it be a good, clean fight?
I hope so. I'm not into ad hominem attacks. I have a, as Gillian was mentioning, I have a forward... thinking, fully costed manifesto. And what's more, as Nick has been alluding to, and Therese, as I'm sure you're all aware, it costs roughly 348,000 Earth pounds to run a by-election, and there's a quite strong possibility there would be a second by-election if Farage were to win. So I can say here now on live BBC television, by voting Binface, you are saving the British taxpayer 350 grand. You can put that on the side of a bus, and I haven't done anything. It's a win-win.
There's a poetic symmetry to this farce, Paddy, because what Nigel Farage has done, and of course Nigel Farage...
Checkmate. He makes an undeniable point.
Says, oh, this is a witch hunt. These rules don't apply to me. That's exactly how Nigel Farage works. He works on the basis of reform and Farage exceptionalism. These rules are for the rest of Parliament, but they're not for him. So for him to pull this stunt and to manipulate the people of Clacton, he's supposed to be a servant of them, and he's turned them into a servant of him and his publicity stunt.
Thank you all. Thank you all very much. Thank you to you. We heard from Reform UK on the programme last night, and there will likely be other candidates in the Clacton by-election, which we will be covering further in the weeks to come. Thank you all. Let's have a look at the papers as they're coming in. The Daily Mirror.
Right, we'll leave that there. I think he made a pretty good accounting of himself. I think that's it for Clacton and Binface. Yeah, it is. So we'll move on to Manchester now. A couple of bits where Manchester's concerned. There we go. We took a look at a poll on last night's stream, which I thought was, what can I say, not too favourable or realistic where the Green Party's chances are concerned. Came across this one earlier today from a different source. which actually puts the Greens on 22%, above Reform, with the highest gains as well, plus 15. Labour on 38%, as they were in the other poll from yesterday, I believe, with minus 25. But I think as far as the Greens' popularity compared to Reform's is concerned, and not just saying this because I'm biased, I'm inclined to think that this will be more accurate, specifically in Manchester, where the Greens performed so very well in the locals. Tories down 2, a few independents just in there as well with 1%, but you may have noticed as well this poll also considers Restore, who have come in with 9%, which appears to have again directly eaten away at the Reform vote. And I've seen some posts being shared around social media recently as well. Quite satisfying, actually. These two right-wing parties going at each other. Two of them claim to be out canvassing in the same area here in the northwest, and on one of the Restore accounts they were saying, oh look, we've got 25 people here and there's only 7 at the Reform stall. Things like that. So yes, let them fight, let them eat each other. They're only sharing the same demographic of vote around. They're only going to affect one another's success. So yeah, for example, there's no way that Restore can get to the heights that Reform got to. And this infighting from the left certainly seems to be aiding and assisting the Green Party, so let it continue, not just here in the northwest, but across the country. Let them fight. Let them destroy one another. I think I just have to upload the next short clip. Of course, this does, in a way, bring us back to Burnham as well, and the Rosebank issue. I'll just sling it in here with hot seats.
Our country.
As well. Because this is the response to a very strong rumour, and I think it's more or less a given of this announcement coming in tomorrow. Zach Polanski, you can see there also contributions from other prominent Green Party members, including one of ours, Hannah Spencer. Okay, I should be able to hear this now.
Is boiling.
Greater Manchester literally burns. It's devastating.
The top 5 hottest summers on record have all occurred since 2003. The climate crisis is with us right now, but it's not too late to stop its worst effects.
Andy Burnham, drilling at Jackdaw or Rosebank, drilling anywhere won't bring emissions down, won't make bills cheaper. So without doubt, we have to do everything we can possibly do.
No more drilling in the North Sea.
Insulating hubs and reducing our reliance on fossil fuels.
No more reckless airport expansion.
Investing in renewables and reducing our vulnerability to global price shocks. This is, fossil fuel giants. Andy Burnham, please don't side with the fossil fuel industry. Listen to the experts, but listen to what our planet is telling us. Please do not allow more drilling of fossil fuels.
Well, let's hope the campaigning keeps going, but like I mentioned earlier, if this is a 9 AM day one policy, it looks as though we're really going to have to take the fight to Burnham. Some people have already started to do that, not just the Green Party, as you saw there. We saw this earlier in the month as well. This is Fossil Free London campaigning. Really good wordplay from Fossil Free London, yeah, Andy Burn M. So please don't burn him, Andy. terrible start. I guess we'll keep up with that with other vids and live streams through the week. Like I said, keep an eye out for this upcoming video, our predictions for what to expect. That might be out tomorrow. That'll be members first, of course, if you're a member on the channel. Just one of the perks of being a member, which I'll take the opportunity to remind you is just 99p if you'd like to furnish yourself or someone else with a membership. That's just a fraction of the price of a tasty hot beverage. Hit the join button or the $sign on chat if you want to send some gifted. Thank you very much, people. So we're still anticipating these two upcoming elections for a couple of weeks or so. We'll keep you up to speed. That's all from Clacton and Manchester.
Okay!
Did you vote Tory?
No.
No one ever votes Tory, did they?
Too loud. The neighbours have been complaining. You just watch your steps, Sonny.
Yes, please at least give us a victory in one of those. Come on. Need some good news round here. Something that's always good news is the amount of support that we do get on the channel. Here's another shout out to the members. Of course, bar the gifted that have occurred on this evening's stream. Thanks again for those. So 147 now towards the target of 250. So we're about to creep, hopefully, past the 150 goal, then the 200. And then into 250. I just want to say again, thanks for your support in helping us get over the 6,000 subscribers mark this week. Solidarity for that. Super chat still open, as well as super stickers. If you're catching up later on, please consider using super thanks. And there's the Buy Me a Coffee page in the description of any content on the channel if you're unable to support us via YouTube itself. Thank you once again, wherever your contributions come from. And it's going to be a slightly shorter stream than usual, people, but stick around, we're going to be raiding into somewhere fantastic. So let's see who's around. We've got Alec Gunter. We've not raided into Alec Gunter there for some time. It looks as though No Justice, Kevin Logan either aren't on or have already finished or started, whichever. But let's go into Alec Gunter and do hit thumbs up and show some support upon arrival, people. Stick around for post-ending Shenanigans. We've got something special lined up in honour of Keith's departure. Just a little something we put together that I hope you enjoy. So thank you very much again for joining us this Socialist Sunday on the Sunday live stream. Thank you for all your contributions in the chat, sir. I've not been able to respond to all of them whilst keeping count of how many times Lucy Powell says change and so on, so forth. But yeah, your comments really do help support us on the algorithm as well. You've been marvellous as always. And I've been your humble host, Lefty. This has been the Sunday live stream. And I'll close out by saying, power to the people, free Palestine, Lebanon, Sudan and Yemen. Don't let the bastards grind you down. Don't watch the news, be the news, and my left eye. We'll be seeing you very soon. Good evening. Go Spain.
The door is open and you can leave. And you can leave. And you can leave. And you can leave. And you can leave.
I don't wanna